Hello, folks. Papa Top 912 and Gamer TT 911 coming at y'all today with another one of our famous recipes. Now, the recipe today, y'all, has been requested numerous times by friends and family. So we're going to go ahead and do this one for y'all tonight. This one is our seafood bisque. That's right. Seafood bisque. Not much to it, not too fancy, but it is magnifico.
He made it before and I didn't get to taste it.
Yeah, because she left me, y'all. She took an extra vacation. As if we didn't have enough vacations already. She took an extra one without Pop. So I made an extra special dish without Chimmy. Chimmy!
It's chimmy.
Anyway, I'm going to turn this camera around now, y'all. I'm going to show y'all what the ingredients are. Now, this is not going to be one of my 30-minute meals. You can do this in 30 minutes. There's several shortcuts you can do that will eliminate a lot of this process. But right now, this is going to be a true homemade, from scratch, A to Z seafood bisque. I'm talking fresh, vine-ripe tomatoes out the garden, roasted in the oven, simmered down on the stove. The 2 hours is really just a lot of just waiting. The work in it, it's not that much cooking, but it's the prep and then just the waiting that takes a long time. So it does take some time, but you don't have to stand over this pot and watch it. You just want to let it marinate and let all those flavors combine. So enough said, I'm going to spin this camera around. We're going to show y'all what we're working with. All right, y'all. So got the camera turned around. That is the full complement of ingredients there. So I'm getting a little closer in here. We're going to start over here on the left. So we'll start off with some seasonings. And there I got some of that Celtic sea salt. I told you that's some really good salt. It's very salty, so you don't need as much as you need with your regular old table salt, but it's some very good and it's healthy for you. So they say, as healthy as salt can be. And then my secret weapon, y'all know I always gotta have that tarragon. Tarragon. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let that secret out. It ain't a secret no more. Tarragon, y'all know Pop loved the tarragon. Got some coarse black pepper, and then some crushed red pepper flakes. And then we got some paprika. Now, I'm using regular paprika today. You can sub this out and use some smoked paprika if you want to add a little extra, little flavor to the dish. But I'm going to be roasting the tomatoes anyway, so I don't really need to do the smoked paprika. So I'm just using regular paprika. And I got some herb de Provence. I don't know how you really pronounce that. Just another...
Herbs de Provence.
Whatever you say. But it's just another blend of Italian seasoning. So you can just use regular Italian seasoning. Or you can just use, make your own if you have all the separate ingredients. And next to that, I do have some basil because I need a little extra basil in this dish to make everything go good. Now, cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano. I know I butchered that. But anyway, Parmigiano Reggiano. Not Parmesan. This the good one, y'all. This that good one.
Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah, get the real one. It's going to make the whole world of difference in this dish. And that's one of my finishing pieces. Then I got, my butter. We're using Kerrygold butter right there. Coming on over. Behind there, y'all also know that I love my shrimp there. Those pink Argentinian shrimp. Love them. Wild caught. So delicious. So tender. And then there's the star of the show right there. The vine ripe tomatoes right out of the garden. Then we got us some heavy whipping cream. Some balsamic vinegar. A little bit of sour cream, and then boom, secret weapon. Y'all know I'm not sponsored by Better Than Bouillon, but I'm always repping them. That's that Better Than Bouillon lobster stock right there, y'all. The true base of this whole dish right there. That's the other part that's gonna turn it up.
Y'all, Better Than Bouillon needs to sponsor him.
And moving over here, we got some more proteins. We got some 1 can of jumbo lump crab meat. And then we have 1 can of the claw meat. Now, y'all ask, why am I using 2? Well, 1, the claw meat is for the flavor. Anybody that really truly knows crab know that claw meat is where it's at. Claw meat adds all the flavor, and it has a certain texture to it as well when it breaks down into the dish. The jumbo lump, it really takes on the flavor of whatever you're putting in there. It does have a crab flavor, but not as much as that claw meat. So I'm using the claw for the flavor, and I'm using the lump for the texture. And then next to there, I got me some jasmine rice. You can use any rice you want to. The rice is just a very small complement to the dish, but it's something that you do need to have. And then going on to my fresh vegetables, I got my super large red onion, and I got me a shallot, some green onions, elephant garlic. I love that elephant garlic, y'all, because in this whole thing here, it's only like 4 or 5 large pieces in here. So it's very easy to work with and cut up versus, you know, your regular garlic cloves you get. And then I got 3 hand-sized poblano peppers in there. See, I normally just try to get like a really large one, but the store didn't have any really nice ones today, so I just got 3 smaller ones. So those are all the ingredients that go in there. So that's the basis of all the ingredients in the recipe, y'all. It's not a lot, but just those few things there blended together is gonna make the best seafood bisque you ever had. I've literally had people tell me that this was the best bisque they ever had. So all y'all that did that, I'm doing this for y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking this stuff down. Like I said, it's mostly just prep work and waiting. So it's not gonna be a lot more to show in the video. I will come in and out and show what I'm doing. But for now, I'm about to just go ahead and chop up the onions and the peppers and the tomatoes. I'm gonna chop that up rustic style. I'm going to saute off the onions and the peppers in the my pan. And then I'm gonna put the tomatoes and the garlic in there, and I'm gonna sprinkle a little salt and some of that red pepper, black pepper, and some of that balsamic vinegar. Shove that in the oven on 425 on, what did we put that on? Roast. If your oven has a roasting setting, put it on roast, or you can just put it on bake. But I'm using the convection roast, so I get that heat rolling around in there, and we'll get that nice char. I'm gonna try to get a little char on top of those tomatoes, and that's just adding to the extra flavor. As you stew all that stuff down, let it get in there and just start cooking, those tomatoes, the sugar are gonna just intensify and caramelize, and that's gonna bring out the brightness of the dish. All these different layers just adding to the flavor. Anyway, I'm gonna stop right there and go ahead and start this on the stove, and we'll be back. All right, y'all, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Just want to show y'all what was going on. So you can see I got a rustic chop, a real rustic chop on these onions and peppers. And those have been in here for about 5 or 6 minutes. You can see they're getting nice and limp. And I just dropped the garlic in. And you see I got a rustic chop on that garlic too. Not really worried about the size, because this stuff is going to mush up. Once it cooks in that oven for about 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, it's going to be so soft. And then once we boil it down in the liquids, and then we're going to use the emulsion blender and grind it up. So don't worry about the size. You don't have to get too crazy with it. I mean, see how big that is? It don't even matter. So right now, this was 1 stick of butter, and then I used another, I won't say even part, but I used a good little bit of avocado oil just to cut the butter and keep it from burning, and using that to saute off these vegetables. So right now I'm just infusing the oil with the vegetables, and I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit longer while I cut those tomatoes. And I'm gonna put those tomatoes in here, I'm gonna swoosh them all around and put some of those seasonings and that vinaigrette, and we're gonna slide this right on in the oven. So like I said, I just want to give y'all an update on where I was right here, and I'll be back once I get the tomatoes cut up and put in this pan. All right, y'all, that garlic was in there for about 2 minutes, and I got those tomatoes prepped up. So I'm gonna take these tomatoes, I'm gonna dump them in now. And I cut those tomatoes over that dish so I could savor those juices that would fall out. And I'm gonna give this a good mix. Kind of get those tomatoes coated in that oil. Then blend it up. Now we're gonna go in with just a little bit of seasoning, y'all. We're gonna go in with some of that red pepper. All right, so we put the red pepper in. Now we're gonna just about that much of that vinaigrette. Oh, vinegar, just vinegar, not vinaigrette. Now we're gonna put a little bit of salt. Not too heavy. You can see it's still simmering down there. I still got the pot on, but now this thing is smelling heavenly, y'all. Ooh, the acidity from that vinegar. Let me tell you. How it smells, shorty?
Yum.
So that's it right there, y'all. We're gonna take this pan right here. We're just gonna make sure none of these tomatoes are doubled up. And we're gonna put this right on into that oven. And we're gonna let this cook in the oven. I got my oven on 425. I'm gonna check it at 30, but it's probably gonna take about 45 minutes. So I'll be back to show you what it looks like as it's cooking down in the oven. All right, y'all. So that's what it's looking like 30 minutes in. You see we're starting to get a little caramelization on the tomato skins and everything. This was looking just like we want it to look. That broth in there is nice and thick from the tomatoes and the sugars and stuff rendering out. What I'm gonna do right now, I had some extra cherry tomatoes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw these cherry tomatoes in there, and they're so small, they'll be done cooked up in about 15 to 20 minutes anyway. So next time you see this pan, you're gonna see a lot more tomatoes in there. But I wasn't gonna do them, but I was like, I may as well go ahead and put them cherry tomatoes in there because it's too many to eat in salads. So that's what it's looking like right now, y'all. And this is 30 minutes in. So again, I would let this go 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put those other tomatoes in, and it might go 50, but I'll let you know. All right, y'all. So I just took the tomatoes out of the oven. You can see those vegetables have now gotten all nice and soft, and those tomatoes are nice and caramelized on the top. You can see everything in the bottom of that pan, deglazing my pan right there. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna transfer all of this over to my stock pot now. And then I'm gonna add my stock in and go ahead and season everything up and start working on the flavor profile of this dish now. But you see everything, look, those tomatoes, they release their juices. So that's a really nice, thick tomato vegetable broth in there. And that's just what we're looking for, mixed in with that butter and that avocado oil. So I'm gonna transfer this over to my stock pot, and we're gonna put our stock, lobster stock in there and some water, and go ahead and flavor this pot up and let that simmer down. We're gonna put the crab and shrimp in there, and that's gonna be the end, people. So catch y'all in a little bit once I switch to the next pot. All right, folks, so I got everything switched over to my stock pot now. See how viscous that is? It's all those vegetables. So now what I'm about to do is I'm about to pour 1 quart of water in there, and then I'm going to take a heaping tablespoon of that lobster stock. We're going to start with that for the flavors.
He tasted it, y'all. I didn't get nothing.
That's right.
I'm fail.
Getting all that paste off of my spoon.
Don't fail.
Alright. Life ain't fair. So I've got my pot up. Gonna turn my heat up a little bit. Now, this dish requires a lot of paprika, y'all. So this is a brand new canister of paprika. But we're gonna put a good, like a fourth of it in there.
That looks about a little over half, over 30.
That's a fourth. So I use about a fourth of that jar of paprika. Just gonna put some black pepper in there to taste. And you're gonna adjust this as you go, so don't worry about it too much. Then we're gonna use the herbs. Decent amount of those herbs. And then we're gonna fill that with the basil. About the same amount of basil as those herbs. And then, you know my secret ingredient, but don't get too heavy with it. Just a little shake of that tarragon, about that much right there.
You spilled some.
Yeah, I know. It'll be okay. So now I'm gonna mix all this in. And I'm gonna give her a taste.
Can I taste it?
I might think about it. the stock a little taste real quick. All right, so I just tasted it. It's a little fresh and just got a little pinch of bitterness in it. So put a little bit of sugar in there. And we're gonna hit it with some more of that salt. And then I'm gonna hit it with another tablespoon of the stock. Another heaping tablespoon of that stock. I think that's gonna be it, y'all. I think that's gonna be it. We're gonna see.
And then you're gonna add what? I can't wait to taste these.
Alright.
Can you be nice and let me taste a little bit?
Let's let the assistant taste it before she have a conniption.
Yummy!
Is it on point now?
A little bit spicy.
I like it spicy. So let's see, y'all. Taste it again now.
You can definitely taste the tomato.
It's definitely getting there. Don't want to add nothing else right now. You can taste the little bit of sugar, made it slightly sweet, but it's still tasted tomatoes. So now we're gonna just let those herbs, since those are dry herbs, they need to kind of cook in here. So we're gonna do now, we're gonna just let this come to a simmer and let it cook for about 30 minutes. Now, the next thing you gotta do, you need to get yourself a 1/4 cup. Anywhere from an eighth to a quarter. I'm gonna go with a 1/4 cup of that white rice. 1/4 cup. Gonna dump that in there. Now we're gonna just cover this over and let it simmer for like 30 minutes. We need that rice to get completely immersed in there. Let it get nice and soft, even mushy, because we're gonna use that to thicken up this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and let the rice cook, let those flavors blend. We'll come back and adjust it one more time. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with the emulsion blender, put the seafood in there, and we're gonna be good to go, people. So check y'all out in about 30 minutes. We're just gonna let this simmer down and let that rice cook. All right, folks, welcome back. So this has been cooking about 30 minutes and the rice is now softened. I did retaste the seasonings. I added a little bit more seasonings of each one of those seasonings. Again, I added probably about the same amount again. It didn't have enough flavor for me, so I just added some more. But now this is ready for the emulsion blender. So I'll show you how that works. Everything looks nice and fine. All right, so that's pretty much emulsified now. Everything's blended up. So now I'm gonna go and get my cheese and my cream and my other ingredients, get those in here, and then I'll come back and put the seafood in. And then we'll just let it cook down for about another 20 minutes, which will be enough to cook those shrimp through, and then we'll be ready to taste. So I'll be back. All right, y'all. So a couple things have happened in here. I pretty much used that entire wedge of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and I put 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream in here, and I went ahead and emulsified that in there, and you can see it's a little thicker than I wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and put about a pint. I'm gonna start off with 1/2 pint of water in there, and I'm also gonna go ahead and put 1 giant dollop of sour cream. So I got the sour cream and the water. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in here. Alright. Yeah, see, that's looser now. It's gonna tighten up some more as it cooks down. So I'm not gonna put any more water in it. I like that consistency right there. You can see it coats it, but it's falling off. Coats, but falls off. And you can always add a little more water later. So now I've tasted it and I'm loving where it is now. Didn't have to add anything else. That cheese and the cream, really more so the cheese, added that little hint of what I was looking for, that I was missing on the tongue. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the seafood in, and after that we're going to let this simmer down, let these shrimp cook, and let that crab absorb the flavor, and then I'll come back and I'll show y'all what this looks like plated up. So probably got another 20 minutes to go. Told you it was a long dish, but not a lot of work, just a lot of waiting. So I'll be back. All right, folks. So this bisque is done now. I'll show you what we're looking at here. You see it's nice, and you got all that crab, lump crab, shrimp, and it's just, it coats the spoon, but it falls off the spoon. So now I'm gonna have my little assistant come over here real quick and give it a taste test.
Hold on. I just have a butter knife and a bowl left.
Come on, assistant. Get your spoon.
Y'all, this is my first time tasting this, so wish me luck.
The assistant's gonna taste the bisque for y'all. Here, better blow it. All right, let's go. It's got the thumbs up, people. And it's just gonna get better tonight, and it'll be even better tomorrow once all these flavors really mesh together. But anyway, we're gonna have this little grilled cheese sandwich right here and a bowl of soup, and we're gonna check y'all out later. And all right, folks, so here's the end product there. They got the bisque, and I took those shallots, diced them up, and I sliced those onions, green onions, a little thinly. Just laid them right in the center, and then I sprinkled across the top with some chili powder. If you don't like chili powder, you can also just use some more paprika. It just adds a little color and just a hint of flavor to it. But that's the end result right there. You can see we're having this with grilled cheese. That's 3-cheese grilled cheese with some Bresaola ham. Tastes like prosciutto. That's what we feel like, but we just wanted to try it. Tastes good. Try that too if you want to. But again, this is the seafood bisque, the end result, the presentation. I hope you guys try this, and if you do, leave a message and let us know how you liked it. Papa Top 912 and
Jimmy 101.
Jimmy signing off.